Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Laika and today I am continuing with Buried. Now we left at the end of chapter 1, so on with chapter 2. Oh, results from the last play. Respect the dead. You and 64 players pulled Tony's body out from under the bulldozer. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound. And teamwork. You and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. So it looks like we went with the majority for everything. Oh well. Begin chapter 2. We're standing on a thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes it feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe? Why are we in a subway tunnel? Dennis, what do you think this is? Well, it's obviously a subway tunnel, so why are we in a subway tunnel? Dennis doesn't answer. The reality of what we are seeing is sinking in. Whatever this place is, it's buried way underground. That seems impossible to me, making anything that's on the other side of this tunnel dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But of course we are going to go on. Human curiosity is going to see to that. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound, something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Dennis asks. Not at all. This is what I think to myself, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. Yeah, we'll be fine. We won't be fine, but I reassured Dennis. We're far too in to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we'd slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we've got to find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured, albeit weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can either go left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis, my eyes straining to see in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe. It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights indicating that we'll at least be able to see. There's also the hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but we also heard the footsteps in that direction. So to the left and lights, or to the right and footsteps? Do I want to meet somebody? It could be one of my crew. There. Left, right, left, right, left. Let's go right. He decided to go into the darkness. No, I decided to go towards the footsteps. If there's anyone in here, they're worth speaking to. Right, it is. Continue. As we leave the glow of electric lights, things instantly start to feel a bit more sinister. I look at Dennis' injuries again. The gash along his side is inflamed now, and while the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that has soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? I asked him. Can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says, let's walk into the deep dark tunnel that has no business being here. He's right, the darkness we find ourselves in feels thick, like walking in syrup. I am reminding of the fear I felt as a child when I had to go into the basement to fetch tools for my dad. I was sure there were snakes or spiders or monsters of unimaginable horror lurking down there. I feel that same way here, walking through the tunnel. That's when I see a human figure far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in the faint light at the end. He's standing on some other platform up ahead and likely can't see us. It looks like he might be holding a gun, but it's too dark to be sure. Well, the thing is, if I say quiet and kind of sneak up on him, he might shoot. But if I shout while I'm far away, I can reassure him that I'm friendly. Hey, who's there? My voice echoes through the tunnel, bouncing endlessly off the walls. The figure turns towards us and freezes like a deer sensing danger. Why the hell did you do that? Dennis whispers to me. We don't know who that is. We don't know where we are. I don't know, I say. Maybe he can answer some questions. But that doesn't happen. The person can't see us in the dark, and after a moment, the figure rushes away through the door ahead. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think that it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted on into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up and pull it together, Dennis. Oh, it's okay, take it easy, you can do this. Well, I really want to yell at him, but I have a feeling that might not end well. He might just stubbornly refuse to move. So if I gently reassure him, he might come with me. Come on, Dennis, you can do it. I'm not the one with the gash in my side, I think to myself, though I decide to cut in some slack. Damn, boss, I'm sorry, he says. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest? I asked as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not be able to get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down and help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves onto the platform. Right in front of us there's an entrance to a long hallway exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realise these red emergency lights might be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here, like that guy I saw earlier standing on the platform. Well, he already knows I'm here and I do want to talk to him, so... Hello? Hello, anyone here? I ask, my voice raised to almost a shout. There's not much of an echo, my voice falls flat like a rock from the sky. I'm almost glad that I don't get an answer. Hearing anything else in this hollow silence would have given me a heart attack. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret, and if it is supposed to be a secret and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everybody has been evacuated. But then why was that one person still here? This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls and the floors look well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks. And then he asks the question that has been on my mind since I found the little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise and then the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Ooh, interesting. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. That mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long with two main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and paper strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny? I ask, as a dark brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides to the floor. I'm just going to sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. So lab or conference room? Well, whiteboard and papers, or laboratory. I have a feeling I'll find out more if I look in the lab. Walking inside, I see small vials and glass containers held in a clear glass case. Everything is either glass or silver, and I instantly feel like I am dirtying the place up. I probably am, to be fair. I notice several test tubes in glass cases, as well as some sort of tube system that seems to have a clear fluid trapped inside it. In the back corner, I find a laptop in screensaver mode. Look at the test tubes or look at the laptop? I shall look at the laptop. I hit the enter key and a plain grey background pops up. There are several icons and folders to choose from. I click on a folder labelled Test 1.5 Ethos. A few documents are filled with formulas and names that I mostly don't understand, but there are some things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both. Ideas for a new delivery mode: spherical liquid, induced comatose state, first terror code CO, possible plutonium supplier. Well, I guess I can look at the test tubes as well. I can't help but check out the test tubes. They are filled with varying green and light blue fluids. One of them looks to have some sort of glowing dirt resting on the bottom of it. Another holds what looks like a grasshopper submerged in liquid, only it's the strangest grasshopper I have ever seen. At first it looks like it's expanding and contracting like a blowfish, then it contracts so much that it vanishes completely. As I look closer, it springs back into existence in a completely different test tube, and I'm embarrassed when I actually jump back. I take another look around the lab, trying to piece together what might have been taking place here. I smell some sort of chemical in the air, and it makes me feel like someone has used this lab recently. Outside the hallway I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor. But I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. And at this tense point, I am going to leave it here till next time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, and I shall see you soon with the next part.